We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. Come on, come on. We ready.
Sad, Travis.
I know. I'm
It's
trying
sad.
to pump us up, Clint. I'm trying to bring some
I need to be
enthusiasm to
pumped
this
up.
thing. I'm trying to get this mug fired up, baby. We got to
Oh
have
my
something going,
goodness.
right? Come on.
Everybody hurts. Is that REM? Is that REM?
It is REM. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I think REM should do? I think REM is it Michael Stipe, the lead singer of REM?
Well, first they should stand in the place where they're at
Stand
right
in the
now.
place. Yeah, stand right there.
And stand right where they're at
Next
and
to the man on the
like
moon.
right next to the man on the moon.
What's the
Like
frequency, Kenneth? Anyway, so you know
like
what Kenneth should do? Kenneth.
yeah.
He could find after he finds the frequency, he should find this frequency probably on iTunes, maybe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, anywhere really that you can get your podcast. Really, I mean, we're everywhere, aren't we, Travis?
Everywhere.
Next to the
Everywhere.
man on the
They're
moon.
everywhere. They're
So Kenneth and the
everywhere.
man on the moon, they should when they're find this podcast, they find the
We
frequency.
might be broadcasting live from the moon next week. Maybe.
Maybe next week.
Maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway.
That's a callback to little Will Ferrell as Harry Carey.
Oh,
Matter of
okay.
fact, we'll be broadcasting live from the moon next week.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Travis, I'm trying to get the thing in.
Sorry, my
We'll just
mind goes squirrel. Listen,
anyway. Yeah,
I'm bringing
no.
my gut job this
Anyway,
week. I'm
guys,
bringing
I've lost it.
positivity.
Travis has derailed me. Like,
Positivity.
share, subscribe.
Look,
Like, share, subscribe.
1993 Greenbrier High School yearbook. Like, share, subscribe, and listen to some Sean Michelle. Let's get this mug rolling.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Ever seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name. Broken heart made whole. Ever seen an orphan find a home? Ever seen the weak find the strength? I promise you I'll change his name. Ever seen the sick get healed? Ever seen a mystery revealed? Ever seen a dead man rise? I promise you I'll change his name.
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time for the Hawg Slop podcast. I'm your boy, bigger T. Joined as always by my man, Big C, Clint Clark. Clint, how you doing, buddy?
Travis, I'm fantastic, but I got to get something off my chest.
Okay.
You just showed the paper staff on the yearbook. For those of you listening, Travis has got the 1993 Greenbrier High School yearbook.
1993.
That is our junior year, I believe, Travis.
Yes,
junior,
it was.
Junior year. So anyway, because I don't think I was on paper staff, but that one year, because that was enough for me. Anyway,
I was on the paper staff for 4 years.
Yeah, Travis is like literally Travis newspaper. Anyway, so I remember us trying to sell the school paper.
Yeah.
Because I don't like we did it and then we had to sell it. Like,
look at them good looking fellows right there.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, look at the hair I had back then.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. Is Sean
Medina
there?
You filled out that skull a lot better.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I filled out that skull. So anyway, where was I? So I remember trying to sell the paper and Sally Penrod coming up to me and saying, I'm not buying in the paper because there's not a volleyball story in it. She was really upset about this. And the truth was we had someone, I don't remember the young lady's name, that was assigned the story and she didn't get it done.
Yeah.
And what do? You dummy. And Sally, on behalf of the entire 1993 Greenbrier High School newspaper staff, me and Travis two guys that were on the staff, the heartbeat, the backbone of the paper staff right here on this podcast. We apologize to you.
That's right.
We are sorry. Sally, you'll never hear about this because you'll never watch our podcast.
That's
But
right.
Sally, if you ever do,
And since
Penrod's might not get your last name anymore.
And since I was assistant editor,
we're
I
sorry.
probably should have been more in charge of that. But I was mainly on paper staff because all you had to do was write like one article a month because we did one paper a month.
You,
So, and I usually did sports. Or
yeah.
I may have done like I think I did maybe a politic one or two because that's when Clinton was running, and so we
Right.
were, as Arkansans, of course, we were interested in that.
And we had to do this in the time before Google.
Oh yeah, and my first year on the paper staff was before we did the layout on computer. So we had to lay it out on paper with rubber cement. Like we had to print it out a certain size, cut it out, lay it out like a puzzle, and then take it to the printer that way. Like it was crazy. But thankfully we got computers and
I mean,
by the time you came
have you seen the movie Hot Tub Time Machine? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
The part the truest part of that is like when Clark Duke is going like, how am I going to reach you? And she's like, just come find me.
Yeah.
He's like, that sounds exhausting.
That's right.
We used to have to do that.
That's right. Yeah. Whole different world.
Yeah. Trav.
Look, last week we got to talk about, and the week before, we've had some good weekends with Razorback sports, right? We've had some positive things to talk about. We had some
positive weekends.
We had the SEC tournament. We had the first, 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. And then Clint, last week, we fell off a cliff.
Well, let's just be honest. It was not a fun week. And to have the fun weeks, you got to have the bad weeks sometimes. And this is this was the bad week.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
You got to mix them all together.
The facts
big
of
old
life.
pot.
Tootie knows
big old pot like gumbo. Anyway, as I was saying, did you say something about Tootie? Yeah. Okay. Natalie, I think, was going to have her own spinoff, but I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
Be her and George Clooney. I don't know.
Blair was a looker.
Yeah. Anyway. She looks the same. Blair still looks the same. Anyway.
Yeah, she was on Survivor.
See, here you go. You're derailing me again.
Sorry.
But let's just be honest, Travis, especially when it comes to terms of basketball. We're going to start basketball first.
Yeah.
This is where most of us had making our exit.
Yeah.
But here's the reality. They were getting open looks, and the shot was just not falling. I Marco Polo guessed that they got open looks. They missed probably 10 open threes.
Oh, more than that, yeah.
I know. In the first half,
62% from the field, other than three. If you take away the 3-pointers, we were 5 of something from 3.
Yeah, but I mean, you make 3 of those. You make 3 of those. You're down 11 at half. You make 3 of those. You're down 2 at half. It's a different ball game. But we just got bullied inside on offense. Yeah. I mean,
Clint, and that's the look. I know I said I was going to be positive, but we got to talk about it. And I am in no way, okay, please do not misunderstand me when I talk about this. I'm not saying Cal's a terrible coach. I'm not saying he needs to be fired or anything like that. In no way. Okay, keep Cal, all that. But my biggest disappointment in last year and this year is the fact that we did not see improvement on defense, especially in our post players. Yes, we need to get some bigs for next year, but my biggest disappointment was Clint, and I've talked about it on here. Me and Bart Reed talked about it when he was on here, is basic fundamentals of post defense. Trevin Brazile, at times we love the guy, but what have we said 100 times on here? This team goes how Trevin Brazile goes. Yeah. Trevin Brazile was not keyed into that game.
No, Trevor Bill was off. When I saw he was off, I mean, I think I turned it off with that. But really, Cal's bread and butter's always been the guards.
Yeah.
It has been. If my son was a 6'5" All-American point guard and he's being recruited by everybody, including Coach Cal, I tell him to go Coach Cal.
Yeah.
If he's a 6'10" big, I'm probably gonna tell him to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you, but at the same time, other than Big O, that I know the kid I transferred from. There's only one Big O, but the Big O Kentucky version.
Yeah.
Other than him and Anthony Davis, really, when has he really had that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's probably going to be like yelling Julius Randle, but I'm talking about just the bully down low.
Yeah.
I mean, it just.
Yeah, it was just ugly. I mean, and yes, Arizona's bigs were good. Okay, I'm not saying they wasn't good. They were good. They were very good, and they got away with, you know, the officials are letting the bigs in all of. I'm not talking about just our game. I'm not complaining about the. I mean, the officiating. Look, there were some bad calls, but the officials were in every game. Did you see the Duke UConn game?
Yeah,
Boozer
they let him
ran
play.
over that one guard from UConn one time, and like his feet were set for a charge, and they didn't give him nothing. They just let him.
Trav, okay, now you brought it up there. Duke UConn, where does that rank in all-time finishes for you?
It's probably. I mean, it was great. It was great, but um, I saw the guys on Barstool were ranking them this morning, and I think it probably third or fourth somewhere in
Okay,
there.
now would you
Probably.
put that? Now would you put that ahead or below um, of the St. John's last second layup?
Uh, I don't know. They'd be close. I
Yeah,
think the Leitner one. You gotta love the Leitner one.
the
I mean,
the
even
the
though I don't
late the
like Leitner.
Leitner, and just because he's a dirty Ole Miss rebel now, I love Valpo beating Ole Miss.
Yeah,
Keith Carter down there.
yeah,
Woo.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was. I was pulling for Keith, and I remember just like Nelson making fun of me as soon as because we were in the dorm room when that happened.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. But anyway, going back to the Hogs. Whatever we do next year, there's already, we can talk about some of the portal guys or whatever, but let's talk about this team first. Uh, we got to get better defensively. I mean, that's, and I'm not talking about we got to get studs on defense. I'm talking about just some basics. Like there was one play I was so proud of Malik Ewing. He did a good job fronting one of their bigs and ended up getting a steal. We haven't fronted guys very well all season, Clint. I mean,
yeah,
we got guys that can front like Trevor in Brazil he's not going to be able to power people. So when you're lanky and long armed like him and can jump, front your guy, okay? Because you can deny the ball to him because you're going to make it almost impossible for them to throw over. And he likes to help on defense, so he can help if a guard gets by Acuff or Thomas or some one of those guys. But he doesn't do that well. He just stands there and with bad position behind the guy and just lets him push him around. That's the kind of stuff that's frustrating. Okay, I mean, Arizona was the better team. I don't think anyone say that. Like you mentioned, in every one of my brackets, I had us losing to them.
yeah.
I think Arizona.
Well, I think Arizona it might be the best team in it. I mean,
Oh, Arizona, Michigan's the national championship, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
me too.
Illinois is
But I mean,
good, but Illinois
all
is
kidding
not as
aside, it's
talented.
hard to be mad at them because this is what we all expected to happen.
Yeah.
But Trav, okay, so we're gonna look. You want to look to next year? Is what you're saying?
Well, let's do talk real quick about the Billy Richmond flagrant two.
I was in bed when that happened, so I can't.
Okay, you didn't see the highlight of it?
Nope, didn't see that.
Oh,
You think I'm gonna put? Why would I put myself through that, Travis?
Clint, it was terrible. It was terrible. Now, I did, we consume a lot. I know I consume a whole lot of like other Razorback podcasts and stuff. And the guys from inside Arkansas, uh, Curtis Wilkerson and them were there at the game. And their argument was they said, look, he didn't get the flagrant two for what he did. He probably got the flagrant two because of what he was saying afterwards. They were sitting close to the table and they said that Billy was saying some stuff that they couldn't repeat. Okay. Um, I don't know who he was saying it to. I don't know if he was saying it to the official or to the player because the player flopped. On the play, Clint, what happened was a player came by, was going to kind of screen him and roll off of Billy. Billy just kind of shoved him like players do all the time. The dude flopped on the ground. Okay.
Yeah.
It looked bad because the dude timed it right. Billy did shove him a little bit, but it happens all the time. No one was hurt. At worst, it should have been a flagrant one. At worst, things were starting to get heated. Malik Thomas was kind of mouthing a guy at the time. Pringle was kind of getting mouthy. We were losing. We were frustrated, guys. And the officials were probably just trying to calm everybody down. But it's sad because what they did was they kicked Billy out of the game. Flagrant two, he's out. And he didn't get to finish the game. Uh, that was terrible. It was a terrible call.
Well, I mean, maybe, but if it had been, I mean, they're probably gonna flagrant one him and tee him up anyway, and he would have been gone. So I mean, it was one of them
Yeah.
things.
Could have, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, who
but
knows?
anyway, all right.
It sucks, but that wasn't the reason they lost the game. They got beat. Yeah, but
So
Travis, you know who we were expecting to be good this year?
who's that? Darius Acuff.
Well, we bring in Darius Acuff, so he'll be gone.
Yeah.
And I think Malik Thomas, he'll be gone. But really, and then Brazil's gone, and Pringle. The rest of the guys all can come back. Um,
Yeah, Ewing put out a tweet today saying that he's going to make an announcement on Instagram soon. He's got a file. From what I understand, he's got some paperwork to file to get an extra year
mhm.
because I think he was a JUCO guy, but I think according to the rules, he should get that extra year. He's just got
Yeah,
to file the paperwork to do it.
yeah. Well, like you said, he didn't walk senior day or
Yeah,
anything like that. So I think
yeah.
that's a good sign. And you gotta the one that you really got to wonder about, would Richmond be? I mean, I think Thomas is at least going to test the waters.
I
Um,
think unless for some reason Thomas gets bad feedback, I don't know why he would, because I think NBA is going to say, I think his agent, for one, is going to say, you're first rounder. I
yeah,
think the NBA feedback may be first or second
it
round, but all he needs is one or two teams. And of course, they still got to do the draft lottery and all that crap.
right.
But if all it takes is one or two teams in the first round to say, we're thinking about you in the first round, that's all they got to do for a guy like him to think, yeah, I'm going to go.
Well, the agent's going to tell him the truth now because he's going to get paid either way.
Yeah.
Whether it comes out this year, I mean, this is a top loaded class. Then Billy Richmond would be another one you got to wonder testing the waters. I think he may take the Carter Knox route, may go. Carter Knox will probably do the Carter Knox route again.
A lot of people are a lot of people are responding saying that people in the media are saying they're hearing that Billy's really thinking about coming back. There is a little bit of a rumor out there that another school may be coming after him, but hopefully he says no to them. Um, but yeah, I think you're right. I think Billy got a lot of publicity, toward the end of the season because announcers were talking a lot about him, commentators were talking a lot about
Yeah,
him. It was the Darius Acuff show, but then after him, it was Malik Thomas and Billy Richmond were the next two that were talked about,
yeah.
even more so than Trevor Brazil, probably even some. And
Well, I mean, he made the all defense team.
yeah,
He was an
yeah,
award winner. But Trav, the other thing we did think was going to be good this year, though, however, was the baseball team.
yeah,
And it is not. I raised the alarm bells last week. I felt like the South Carolina series was telling to me because, like, you won the series, but you didn't win the series
Yeah.
because eh, I felt like you needed to sweep to feel like you won that series, and they didn't sweep. They got drubbed. Well, and then this week, the unthinkable happened. An
Yeah.
unranked Florida team came into Baum-Walker Stadium. Baum-Walker, the best college baseball environment there is, and swept the Arkansas Razorbacks on Norm DeBron week.
Yeah.
And
Sad.
it was not, you know, this team does at times does everything well.
Yeah.
I mean, they do at times, but there's no consistency. There's no like, there's no clutch in this team.
Yeah.
And I just said, I said, no, watch this be the team that gets a natty.
Yeah.
But right, and I hope please make me eat my words. But there's no clutch. It's like there's no like, okay, okay, oh my goodness, they're making a comeback. Let's call the cops. There's no like,
Yeah.
thank goodness, this guy's coming up. It just I don't know, Travis. I don't know what's missing. I think there's a lot of good pieces. It just seems like it's not gelling. For some reason, it's not working.
Yeah.
What say
Once
you?
again, I mean, what do we talk about every year, Clint? And as far as offensive struggles with this team is getting players or is getting players around when they're on base. Okay. Right now, as we're recording this, Arkansas is playing Missouri State. They're losing 6-5. They did bring it back.
Oh wow, it was 6-1 earlier. So
Yeah. Um, but in the first inning, they get 3 walks, I believe, or at least 2 walks in the first inning against Missouri State, and only score and get bases loaded and only get 1 run out of the deal on a base hit. And on a base hit, it was a weak enough base hit to where, I mean, you only get 1 run. Now, let's be. You're exactly right in everything you said. This team is struggling. Now, I do want to at least give them some credit here. Um, they're struggling with health right now. Ruiz got hurt. New has been sick. And in fact, in this game against Missouri State, you got a whole new outfield starting. You got Turner in center, you got Stewart in right, you got Rudenball in left. Okay. Which Rudenball is a freshman who is getting thrown into action. He's played first base, he's played catcher, and now he's played right field. Okay. They're using him wherever they can use him. Okay.
yeah,
Thankfully
between him and Cam Kozel, they're playing all the positions.
yeah, and he's leading off tonight too, by the way. So you got that going against you. The thing is, you wanted Stewart in the lineup anyway because Stewart's been one of your better hitters lately. So him in right field, you still got Aloy healthy. That's more Aloy's been playing bad. They do have Aloy pinch DHing tonight.
Yeah.
But Aloy's not played well in right field. That hasn't worked out well. Kozel's done pretty well at short. I mean, there's some balls he's not able to get to, but they've all been really difficult hit. Like there was a one to the shallow outfield. It wasn't real shallow. I mean, he was way out into kind of left center
Yeah.
earlier tonight. But there's 3 guys going in on it. None of them could get to
Well,
it.
you know this about Kozel. He's going to give maximum effort that position.
For sure. Yeah.
Is he? He would. Who he would remind me as a pro at a shortstop would be like a David Eckstein type.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Just gritty, gonna.
Yeah.
He was the MVP of the World Series for the Cardinals, by the way.
Yeah. And you got, but the thing is, and then the pitching has just been, these guys, one of the things, the worries we have a lot of talented arms. We've talked about that, but we got a lot of guys that don't have a lot of experience. I mean, none of them have have much experience. In fact, is it Gibbler? And I mean, I mean, probably has the most. Fisher has a little, had a little bit from last year. But I mean, these guys just don't have a ton of experience pitching. And against Florida, we saw them throwing a lot of balls.
Yeah.
Not we walked a lot of their base runners, and our batters aren't taking enough walks. That's one of the reasons Rudenbaugh is in the batting lineup, because he's willing to take some walks. Um, yeah,
And
Clay,
that's
I
always
don't
been
know.
something with Arkansas. They always work the hitter. I mean, the pitcher. They always work the pitcher.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, always. Like,
and we're striking out something horrible.
man,
Our batters are watching some third strikes instead of swinging at them. I mean, that's happened way too much this year, man. You can't, you at least swing away. I mean, Aloy at least will swing away, but
so Trav, who we got
Helfrich's
this
done that.
weekend, my friend?
This weekend got Auburn, and Auburn just got swept by Alabama, I believe. So at least we
So
got
so
that
we're
going
trying. So
for
two
us.
teams trying to get out the basement.
That's right. At least we got that going for us.
Two teams trying to get out the basement, and it's we playing on the plains. We're playing at Fayetteville
On the plains.
on the
In
plains.
fact,
Okay,
they're not even going. They're not even coming back. They're playing at Missouri State tonight,
yeah,
and they're not even coming back to Fayetteville. They're going straight to Auburn.
okay, that
Uh,
makes sense.
so, and hopefully Micah New will be healthy. I think he's just dealing with sickness, and that's the other thing. They've had just illness. Like Micah New was throwing up before the game Sunday, and ended up still coming in batting. Um, and so, you got that going against you. They've had the flu go around, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things that's been against them, and the hope is that they pull it all together. But that's going to take the leadership of the team, and they just tied it up 6-6. It's going to take the leadership of the team. Are the guys going to step up and be, or the guys like Helfrich, Kozel, Souza, um, some of the older, Robinette, are those guys going to step up and say, okay, guys, we gotta, we gotta do something different here.
Yeah.
So that's
So yeah, so that is what it is. But now let's Trav, me and you both got big news. You know what? I'm gonna be selfish. I'm gonna go first, only because your news is so much bigger and better than mine.
well,
That-
I'm not,
So,
yeah,
well, mine's far dumber. So anyway, so I released it on Facebook. Coming out of retirement, doing a super fight, another jujitsu match. After I retired from jujitsu in July, I found the gym opened up here in Victoria. Love it. Gracie Allegiance, Victoria, Texas. Been training there quite a bit. And anyway, so bucket list item of mine was forever going to be I wanted to do a super fight after I turned 50.
yeah,
I just did. I wanted to walk out to Just a Gigolo by David Lee Roth and have a super fight. Win, lose, draw. It's mostly just so I could walk out to Just a Gigolo by David
yeah.
Lee Roth.
Well, that's how it
I
matters,
mean,
right?
yeah, because
Put on a show.
we've talked my weird, like I'm the guy that likes Van Hagar more than Van Halen. But you ask me who's the better front man, David Lee Roth is the better
That's
front
right.
man. Period. I just like the Van Hagar songs better. Anyway, neither here nor there. So I want to walk out to that song. A lot of people, mostly my parents,
Yeah,
and the owner of the company are like, why,
yeah,
why? Bucket list item. Do this after I turn 50. I'm going against Brent Rustin, who I've had on my podcast, Pajama Wrestling 101, which I haven't done in years,
yeah,
but yeah, so he's been on my podcast. We went against each other in tournament. He stayed at my house. We've had dinner together in Vegas. We are very, very good friends. And I'm looking forward to going against him. He's agreed not to throw me because I have the doctor don't want me to take a hard fall. So I've got that going for me.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'm excited about it. But
It's gonna be in
it's going to
beautiful
be
Fairfield Bay, right?
Fairfield Bay, the Fairfield Bay Convention Center, July 18th.
18.
Um, 18th. You know, it is this. No, I'm the only reason I'm doing this because this one's for me. Because I wanted to do like I had a few when I hung it up. I had a couple bucket list items I wanted to do, and I felt like I'd left a couple things on the table, and this was one of them. And I'm ready to go get somebody I respect, that I care a lot about, respects me, um, safe. You know, not herky jerky, not gonna do something dumb just to try to hurt you.
Yeah.
So, really, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, and it'll be my last super fight ever. Because I don't particularly like doing them, Travis. Because
You
I'm
say
always
that now, but
no, for
you're gonna be
real.
like Ric Flair. You're gonna be coming out.
No, I'll do a tournament. I want to because I've got like I do want to compete. I've said it on this podcast for. I want to compete after out of the country,
Yeah.
and I also want to compete at Master Five, and I'll be Master Five next year. And I'm looking maybe doing Toronto or something like that. But I don't particularly like super fights because super fights are mostly about submissions, and I've never been a high volume submission guy. Even if I'm going against somebody like not near as on my level.
Yeah.
I'm going to get on top and control the match, more of a point style grappler. And
Yeah.
so that's why I don't like doing super fights.
Gotcha.
But you know what? I told myself I was going to do one after I turned 50. Um, and so that's what I'm going to do. And
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it. Now,
July 18th
Travissimo,
in Fairfield
top
Bay.
that, my friend.
Well, I don't know if I can top it, but
Yes, you can, my
I've
friend.
been on my weight loss journey. I guess that's the popular social media way to say it or whatever.
Right.
And I started at around, I always say 620 pounds. I don't know exactly how high I got up. I know I was at least 20 pounds. I know for sure I was at 600, and I know I was probably at least 20 pounds over that
No, and I
one time.
completely understand that
So,
because because trust me, like I lost a bunch of weight before me and Anna got married when I started jujitsu again. I remember getting on the scale at the casino first time I stepped on the scale because I wouldn't we honeymooned at the casino. But
yeah,
anyway, so I remember I was in the loss center and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna step on the scale now.
yeah,
And I knew I'd lost 30, 40 pounds before that.
yeah.
So I told because I just didn't want to. I was worried I'd see what it said and it would devastate me.
Well, at the
So
time, I had a scale that only went up to like 599. So,
yeah,
I mean, 600 was the limit.
you
So,
weighed in at
yeah, it was a So, but I know when I was in the hospital 2.5 years ago, like they weighed me then and I was at 600. So I was like 599,
yeah.
598 then. Okay. So, and I had lost some weight before I went in the hospital. So that's why I always said 620. So and I do my mantra is embrace the process. It's about the process. It's not about goals. Okay. So I don't necessarily set goals, but I do have checkpoints. And one of those checkpoints was to be half the man. And, these last few weeks have been tough, Clint, because I got down to like 311 and just stayed there. I hovered at like
Yeah,
311,
it's got to be
313.
frustrating. You're like, I could go. You
And
feel
I'm
like you
like,
could go, dispose of that if you know what I'm saying.
yeah. I mean, and like, I'm eating, I'm working out every day, 5 days a week. I'm getting no more than 1,600 calories a day. Um, I mean, I'm doing all the stuff right. And I'm like, dang. And then finally, Monday, stepped on the scale, 307 point something. So I'm half the man I used to
You're
be,
less than half the man you used to be.
less than half the man I used to be. And that leaves me because the other checkpoint is to be below 300
Right? Yeah.
by May 14th, which is my 50th birthday. And so that put me the way I was staying the same for a couple of weeks. I'm like, man, that May thing's gonna be tougher. Now it feels more doable because it's just like 8 pounds. We'll say eight
Yeah.
pounds to get down there. So
So
anyway,
yeah,
so I'm pumped about that. Plus, I've been waiting to do my post on Instagram
right. You've got it.
with
You've got it.
with
Like, okay, if I do
with
this, I'm going to
with
talk. Yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots
There you
Creep
go.
with half the man I used to
There you
be.
go. Oh,
So
that is
I had to do it.
unbelievable,
So
friend.
anyway, but I'm ready to do the one where I go. They call it Underland or whatever, where I go under, where that first number starts with a two.
See,
So that's the next one.
I'm not there yet myself, and I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
You're probably going to beat me to it at this rate, my friend, and
Uh,
I'm thrilled for you. Looking now, I need you in shape because now because for all this turning 50, y'all that follow the podcast first talk about Robert Branscombe, hometown roofing for all your roofing needs.
that's right.
Um, Wesley Rowland for all your principal needs.
Yeah.
Um, so we're all turning 50 this year. Like Travis goes first. His is
May 14th. Yeah.
May 14th. Branscome's is June 21st. Mine's the 27th, and Wesley's is sometime in September.
September 1st. Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. So there. So now you
Stephen
have all
Vellix
your
is
births.
Stephen Vellix is August 31st. But
Yeah. So there you go.
anyway,
Jumbo's is July 1st.
yeah.
So anyway, and I think Matt Nelson's is the second, but he's younger than us. So anyway, so we're all turning 50 this year, we're going to play golf.
Yeah.
Now, I told Branscombe, because Branscome's, let's just be honest, we're all playing fair and square. Branscome's gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he is. He is better than all of us
Yeah.
at golf. So he says that if we give him two balls, he could beat us three.
Yeah.
So I
Makes
told him, I
sense.
said, Branscombe, I ain't keeping score.
Yeah.
Like, I said, you think I'm going to go chase my ball out of the woods? No, I'm going to drop another one right here in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
If you want to write me down for an extra 5 strokes, go ahead. I don't care. but yes, I will say this, Branscombe, if we were playing golf, we win. But I need you to play good. That way I could talk crap to Branscombe like,
Well,
if we'd have scrambled you, we would have won.
yeah.
So,
Well, I got to get out and practice on that. That's something I got to get.
oh, you're going to
I've been
there.
hitting. I've been hitting some wiffle balls in my yard a little bit, but
Oh, cool.
but I'm not hitting. But anyway, well, Clint. Also, another thing we need to talk about: future Razorbacks.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this one.
You know, right now, in fact, tonight is the McDonald's. You know, we're recording this on Tuesday night, so is the McDonald's All-Star game, high school All-Star game, and J.J. Andrews, the son of Sean Andrews, made that game, and he was in the dunk contest last night, Clint, and went kind of viral with his dunk contest. I don't think he won it. Someone else won it that jumped
No, I
over.
think like Jackson Richardson jumped over like 10 people and Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, I was going to say Ronald McDonald. So, but he still, JJ did good. He came out with football pads and a football helmet and did a couple sweet dunks wearing that, which was, I thought, that's something we hadn't seen before. So, and I thought it was kind of a neat nod to his dad. His dad, great Arkansas Razorback,
Yeah.
NFL player. And I did hear his dad interviewed today on the Buzz, and he was talking about he didn't know he was going to do that. In fact, it was a last-minute decision. He said that JJ was like, "Hey, y'all got any football shoulder pads?" And they had some. He put his basketball jersey over them, and he said he had to get a lineman helmet because he's got a head like his daddy. And so, but anyway, so I thought that was cool. That was kind of a neat deal. He did a deal where he was and he was running the ball and he had a couple guys standing in front of him. He busted through them and everything. So it was good.
But Travis, I just the entire time, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've just been sitting there thinking about the dude dunking over Ronald McDonald. I think Jackson Richardson, I think it's Jason Richardson's son, but I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah.
So if I just made that up, my bad, y'all.
Yeah.
But anyway, just looking back, like now as an adult, clowns are just creepy.
Yeah.
Like they used to not be creepy. Now they're just creepy. Like you go back watching old episodes of like Bozo the Clown. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No,
Were you ever on Bozo?
I was never. Were you on Bozo?
Always wanted to be. Always
No.
wanted to be.
I mean, now looking back at it, like that would have been a traumatic childhood experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I remember waking up. Listen, I grew up with a brother, Paul. You know Paul.
Yeah.
Um, we've beat him up many times.
Yeah.
Um, but we would always, mom and dad would always have a deal with us on like because whoever goes sleep first gets to pick cartoons in the morning, and I could always fake being asleep better than him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so like I don't know if Paul ever picked out the cartoons.
You were less ADD than him, so you could
Yeah, yeah. I
probably
mean, which
fake
isn't
sleep better.
saying, which is
Yeah.
saying a lot to his level of ADD
That's right. Yeah.
because I'm pretty bad myself.
But I did want to bring up something else about the JJ injuries.
Go ahead.
Him and Jordan Smith did a press conference, and Clint, those are, they're great basketball players. I mean, Jordan Smith is up for Player of the Year in high school and all that kind of stuff. Those are some really well spoken, seem like some good
No.
kids. Like I'm excited to see them in Razorback uniforms doing press conferences because like Darius Acuff was good, but these guys are a little more polished in their like. I don't know if you remember. Did you ever watch press conferences when Dusty Hanna and Daryl Macon were?
Oh yeah, I remember Daryl Macon. He was
Oh, they were great, man. They would mess with Bob Holt all the time and
yeah.
stuff and joke around with him and I mean their press conferences were always so good and I think these guys, man, they're just really. I mean, it was like they had been taking classes on how to do press conferences. They were really good, and
Well, you got to
they've
think
been.
about that. JJ, his dad's probably talking about dealing with the media his entire life.
Yeah, and
Just he's used to it.
you can tell they really like each other. Like they were. There was pictures come out of them. They met at the airport when they ended up landing
Yeah.
at the same time, and
Well, Sean was always that they were talking about, like, oh, he's going to be a commentator one day. And I think if he'd had a long pro career, he would have been able to come out. He just had all the back injuries that he had.
yeah,
So,
yeah, and I think Sean also he likes sort of staying under the radar. I think he's more of a he's not he was real outgoing and stuff like that when he was in college, but I think once he got to the pros, I think that changed a little bit. I think he doesn't mind being in the background. He's done a good job of supporting JJ and not being the crazy dad in the background. He's kind of let JJ I think do his thing and but from what he says his mom I think JJ's mom was a D1 basketball player. So
okay.
Uh, anyway, so now the other thing I wanted to bring up real quick before we close off, Clint, is what are they doing at LSU?
Oh, my
Like,
goodness.
like did they just put together the Suicide Squad of coaches at LSU?
Dude, it's like the Axis of Evil SEC edition.
Yeah, because you got Kiffin, you got what's his name, the new basketball
Will
coach
Wade,
Wade, and then what's for
Kim
the girls
Mulkey.
Mulkey, yeah. Like the three coaches people love to hate, right?
Yeah.
Like if they're on your team, you love them, but if they're on anybody else's team, you hate them. Like, and where did LSU get all their money? They're paying out coaches. They still like they're just fired coach. They're paying him like 56 million. They're still paying Orgeron money. They're still, I mean, and then they're Kiffin's getting 13 million. I mean,
There's no telling what that right, dude. I don't know. That's a lot of gumbo, guys. I don't know what to
that
tell you.
is, dude. I mean, like,
I still love Coach Odrod. You're gonna pay me what not to coach?
yeah, did the price of crawfish go up or something?
Yeah.
Like, are they just making a killing down there, them Cajuns? I
Oh
mean,
my goodness.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But like, would it not be the greatest thing ever if, say, in 2 years, Alabama opens up and let's say Kansas uh, or Duke opens up,
Yeah.
and you have Kiffin and Wade both going, somewhere else. Because I mean, Wade did North Carolina dirty, man. He did them dirty.
Yeah, he did NC State. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, North Carolina State, yeah, and he did them dirty. I mean, it's fine if you want to leave. That's fine. Even if you're only there 1 year, that's your right. That's coaches do it, players do it, whatever. Okay, you can't tell people whatever. But then for him to say what he said beforehand, that he was there, he wasn't going nowhere. Like he apparently had meetings with the athletic director right before, like the day before, and was like, they were talking about, you're getting this much more money. We're going to really support the program. We're gonna get this thing turned around, all this kind of stuff.
And then he Petrino'd him.
Then
I'm sorry.
Day, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're not supposed to mention that.
Left notes in the players' lockers, some crap like that.
Yeah. So I think the greatest thing that could ever happen to them, of course, no LSU fans here. Sorry, Jason Waters, if you're listening or watching. But the greatest thing that could ever happen is both of them leave at the same time. And you have to, that would be.
I think Will Wade will do what he pretty much did before, which is be middle of the pack. I mean, it's not like he's not the earth-shattering hire like that Lane Kiffin was. This is being more looked at like that was a douche move. That's how this is being looked at. Like that's a jerk move.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, both of them handled leaving their last place terribly, honestly, and left they just leave a trail of.
But you love them while they're there, Travis.
You do. You
love them.
Well, folks, once again, look, I know there was a lot of negative on this podcast as far as the basketball team. We didn't like the way it ended, but hey, we got to see Darius Acuff play, and we're going to talk about this season for a long time. Won the SEC tournament. It was a good year, all being said, okay, even though we don't like how it ended. And then look, this baseball team has some good young men on it. They're easy to root for because they're good guys. Sure, we don't like how they're playing right now, but it's early in the season. I mean, there's still a lot of season left. There's still a lot of ball games left. Keep rooting them on. Keep staying behind them. They're still up 7-6, but Missouri State's got the bases loaded. Oh no, I shouldn't have looked at that. Anyway, so folks, root on those Hogs. And anyway, Clint, anything else?
No, I think you covered it. Like, share, subscribe, people.
That's right. Thanks once again. We appreciate y'all.
Woo pig.
Woo pig.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come.